Was thinking about the worst emergency room experience I ever had. And it wasn't because I had sepsis and had to wait in the waiting room for 8 hours in intense pain. I wasn't taking very good care of myself. It was after Sophia died. And so imagine having the flu and how your body and your bones ache, but imagine it about 100 times more painful. The next day, I went to an urgent care. When I got there, was just in a really bad spot. They called an ambulance and sent me to the hospital. And then they brought me in. It was packed in there. And so they dumped me in the waiting room. I sat there crying in pain. But the worst part of that was there was a child there that was having issues. The child was 6. And I remember hearing wailing and crying in the back. And I knew just from those sounds that the child had died. I also knew that it wasn't the mother, just by the way the cries were. But eventually the mom showed up and fell to her knees in front of me, and the wailing and crying that I knew and recognized was happening. I knew it was the mom. And my own wailing and crying that occurred after my daughter died still haunts me to this day. I hoped I'd never hear that sound again. And there she was in front of me on her knees, just as I was. And I just sat there and cried for her, knowing the hell that she was in. They took the mom back, and you could hear the cries from the rooms in the ER. And it was just horrible. I waited 8 hours before they took me back, and eventually they put me on IV fluids, waiting for the doctor to come. And I saw the doctor, and he said, we will give you serious IV antibiotics and send you on your way. And I just felt really uneasy about leaving the hospital. He left the room, then came back, and I was saying, I'm not sure I should go home. This doesn't feel right. And luckily, I began to shake uncontrollably. And that's when they realized that they should admit me. And I was there for several days. But just a really horrible experience. So if you ever have a high fever and aches and pains that go beyond like flu, just make sure you get checked. Sepsis can kill you. And I think it's 100,000 people a year die from it. Anyway, listen to your body.